Is Explosive Light about to become meta when Lightfall drops? In today's video, we'll break it down and discuss why I think this perk might be the go-to next season. Hello you beautiful weirdos, how are you today? That question was not a joke, so stop laughing at me for a moment and hear me out. Bungie is making so many changes to Destiny when Lightfall drops, right? Things like how we stun champions, minor subclass reworking, a new system for combat mods with specific armor slots, a brand new subclass, and the list goes on. Some of them I'm scratching my head about, but for the most part, I'm excited. One of those changes I'm looking forward to is from the TWAB on February 1st. It reads a bunch of stuff that you've probably already heard from 500 other content creators, so I'm only going to focus on one thing: heavy grenade launchers. Bungie increased the damage versus champions, mini-bosses, bosses, and vehicles by 20%, along with a 40% buff against minor adds. They've also improved projectile collision to make it easier to land shots and increase the blast radius by 1 meter. All in all, I'd say grenade launchers are gonna look pretty sexy next season.
But Fever, where does Explosive Light come into this?
That's a great question, and we're gonna discuss it now. For any of you who don't know, Explosive Light is a perk that was introduced on a ritual grenade launcher called the Wendigo several seasons ago, but it can now roll on a handful of other weapons. Upon orb pickup, we get a stack of Explosive Light, which gives us a larger blast radius and increases the overall damage by roughly 45%. We can hold up to 6 stacks, but that doesn't mean we can unload massive damage in one shot. The perk consumes 1 stack for every shot. Big sad, I know. But I don't think Explosive Light is gonna shine next season because of a little old buff to grenade launchers. That would just be too easy. I'm thinking more along the lines of a combination between the buff and the changes Bungie is making to the way combat mods work. More specifically, elemental wells and stacks of charged light. If we go back to the TWAB from January 18th, it states that the combat mod slot is going away. Many mods that once belonged to the Charged with Light and Elemental Well subfamilies of mods now fall under a revamped system known as Armor Charge and move to armor slot specific sockets. Equipping any Armor Charge mod will give us access to this system. They've also stated that the functionality of the mod taking charge has been changed to now grant stacks of armor charge because many of the mods that previously created elemental wells or gave us stacks of charge with light have been converted to instead create orbs of power. When we have an armor charge mod, and we'll use Bungie's example, Font of Wisdom equipped, picking up orbs from one of our new converted mods will give us stacks that decay over time, but will give us the buff to intellect from Font of Wisdom during that time. Even our finisher mods will now consume these charged stacks instead of eating a chunk of our super. Basically, it looks like we're going to a full-on orb of power system. And what does the perk Explosive Light feed off of? You got it, orbs of power. As long as Bungie doesn't bamboozle us by completely changing how this perk works, we might be seeing a lot more of it running around when Lightfall drops. Currently, we can get this perk on 2 grenade launchers, the new Wendigo that drops from Nightfalls and Grandmasters, or the Typhon, which I know all of you have probably deleted like 50 of them by now. But it's not just exclusive to grenade launchers. They don't get the same treatment because it's only a 25% buff, but this perk can also drop on rocket launchers like the Plan B. I don't know how to say that name, which is a world drop. The blowout that drops from damn near every Crucible match I play. It can even roll on everyone's coveted hothead, so we have some choices here. Bungie might even make it available on some other weapons in Season 20. Who knows? I don't want to give anyone FOMO and say go grind this right away because that's not my style and we still don't have all the facts about Lightfall. But if you happen to get one of these weapons to drop with Explosive Light, it might be worth holding on to just to see what happens. What perks do you think are going to shine next season and why? I'd like to get everyone's opinion on that. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. As always, be good to one another and have a fantastic day, you damn weirdos. Thank you!
I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude, crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently, thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.